Hey guys, welcome to my first ever movie review. I've never done one of these, but after seeing this movie, the beautiful animation, you know what? I decided let's give it a shot. I don't have the fantastic vocabulary or putting everything together neatly for people to digest, but I just wanted to take my shot at it, give it a go, and here we are. I wanted to express how much this movie came from left field for me. I was hearing for a couple weeks, 2 weeks. This movie's great. This movie's great. I enjoy this character, and of course I was a little spoiled on some things. Um, but here is this fantastic, honestly beautiful, passionate movie put together by DreamWorks. Um, that just blew me away. Coming in with no expectations, very little expectations for the Puss in Boots movie, and it just blew those expectations completely out of the water. And we have a fantastic movie that I hope this style of animation, this style of passion, is put into the next movies. But here is my, spoiler warning review, or not review, walkthrough of the movie. I'm gonna, pace throughout parts of the movie and piece it together as best as I can. So let's go ahead. For this movie, you don't have to watch Puss in Boots 1. I didn't watch Puss in Boots 1 because I saw the release date was 2011. I'm like, I don't like the animation style. I don't like the 3D style right now of it. I like how Shrek looked, but this one is like a step down. Okay, anyway, you don't need Puss in Boots 1 to watch. And you can go right into this movie. You're not going to be lost, maybe like for one reference or two. But it's completely fine. But if you told me that this movie was going to be talked about, this side character of Shrek is going to be in such an amazing, well put story and movie, I would have said no. There's no way. I truly loved it. The beginning, generic intro. I was ready to just be thinking, okay, maybe there's that one good fight scene I saw, right? I don't know who that character is, just one good fight scene, and immediately from the first few minutes of when I see that milk being poured into the cup, I'm like, okay, this is really nice looking. Where he gets shot from the fireworks towards the. Actually, I don't remember where he got shot, but those fireworks, everything looks fantastic, and I am thinking, okay, this movie looks different. This movie looks really, really nice. And later, that also blows my mind that this movie was budgeted at 80 million. There's movie. I hope this becomes a trend where movies are budgeted a lot less, put a lot more time into it and passion, and delivered later on, because all we see are big blockbuster movies with. Well, now it's the superhero movies. Let me not get into that. This is Puss in Boots. So from the fireworks, we go into the next, problem, obstacle of the movie, and you see everything flowing very nicely in the movie. One problem flows into another, into something else. Everything goes very, there's no abrupt endings that I feel. And the next thing that Puss has to solve is taking down this giant. And from this scene, you can see that the passion put into the movie is where you can pause a frame and you can see the shades, the shadows. You can see the imperfections in some of the things that Puss has on him as he's flying, and just having the sunrise in the background looks fantastic in the movie. And I was spoiled to some of the things in the movie where, what do you call them? The Easter eggs. I was spoiled to some of the Easter eggs in the movie. So as the giant is swinging towards Puss with the big bell, the bell rings, doom, 8 times, counting for the 8 lives that he has lost. Well, he's about to lose his 8th life, right? And so he takes down the giant, no problem. Which also you feel every expression, which I will mention later. And the Spanish splinter is like, I can feel that one. That feels immensely painful. So once Puss takes down the giant, because he gets cocky, he gets greedy, he comes back into frame, ready to play one more song because people are asking for it, and that's when he loses his last life. Into the next scene, you just see the expressions. Like, I love this term for the cat ears, is the airplane ears, when he moves his ears ready to like be in like ready to strike when the doctor's trying some stuff out. Great scene on that part. And we go into the next predicament as he's on his last life, and that leads into the bar scene. One thing I noticed that really irks me is from the doctor scene, from before into the doctor scene and even later, is he really hammers in the "I am Puss in Boots," like the way he said that. That's one of the only things that I probably gets hammered at you really a lot, and he just repeats it and repeats it. I get it, but that's very small complaint. Having Antonio Banderas as the voice actor was honestly, well, he has been the voice actor, but it's just such a good fit, and I feel like he really nailed it with this voice acting role, right, in this movie. Everything, and then the expression on his face in reacting to the doctor in the previous scene is great, and that carries on throughout the whole movie. There is not a dull moment on expression with the characters, which goes into the bar scene with Puss, where the candle gets blown out and we meet our main, I want to say the main antagonist, because this character is fantastic. I absolutely love this character, and I feel like it's a lot of people's main favorite character, because he's not a bad guy. Well, maybe he's a bad guy, right? I can't tell, because he wants to steal his last life from a very cocky, greedy, overblown life cat, and he hates cats. They have 9 lives. It's such a silly, constraint on death, which later we find out that this character is death. And I will mention the moment when I thought, yes, this is probably a metaphorical death. Not metaphorical, literal death. He is literally the Grim Reaper of this universe, which had some people thinking, why is he the big bad wolf? Is it a different wolf? I don't know. In the next scene, we're going to be able to, when the wolf is introduced, we hear the eerie whistle that's going to be able to help us identify whenever he is nearby. And just the way he's introduced with the hat, his huge towering figure next to Puss, and when he takes his cloak off, and it's just this happy smiling wolf. He's a normal voice, he's cheery. Can I get your autograph? I don't really do this. He's so calm and nonchalant. Just everything about his demeanor is so refreshing as the character of Death. And the next fight that ensues, beautiful animation, great choreography, and you see how he outmatches? He towers over Puss's abilities, because he's so cocky. He's just flying through the air and he gets caught, slammed thrown, and he gets the sword kicked back at him, and he runs. He's scared for the first time in his life because he was grazed, he was touched by a blade, which he mentions he was never touched by a blade before. This being his emphasis on his last life, he could very well die in this moment. He chooses his life and he runs away out of fear of death. Very, very good, because the wolf is Death, and I'll mention later when I pinpointed he could be Death. We also get introduced into another fairy tale, Goldilocks and the Three Bears, which is like a crime family. Beautiful, beautiful little entry, like little tie-in into another character. And this one's too big, this one's too small, this one's just right. Now that joke landed for me a little, not joke, but like that trope landed for me every time. I really enjoyed that little trope, because it was introduced in many other parts. And after that, we see Puss running to Mama Luna's house to go into like his retirement home, into his retirement scene, I guess. He's like, oh, this is kind of where I bury the hatchet. I put away being Puss in Boots. And we meet one of my favorite characters also. I don't know if I said that for Death, but this is one of my other favorite characters. We get introduced to Perrito. I love it, and I love that I know that Puss has Spanish, Spanish in it, but I love that the wolf speaks Spanish, the cat speaks Spanish, everybody, the dog speaks Spanish, everybody speaks Spanish, well, parts of Spanish, and the dog is just this chattery, happy, hyperactive, like tell me about yourself. Oh, you speak Spanish too? Like the dog has no quit in him, and I love that. You hear a little bit of his backstory of what people called him before, so you get a little idea that the dog had an unwanted poster. That nobody wants a dog, and it's so tragic. But the dog has such a positive outlook, and I absolutely love it. I absolutely love this dog that plays such a nice role. I was worried when the dog was introduced. I was thinking, is it gonna be a bad trope? Is it gonna be carried too far? Is he gonna be just not used as often? Boy, was I wrong. The next part, with I wish I had like the movie next to me so I can mention the parts, or I wish I could have somebody to edit some parts of what I'm talking about in. Um, but the next part where Goldilocks breaks in, Puss in Boots is just trying to hide, just trying to be avoiding, like asking what people want with him. This is where he finds out about the wishing star. The wishing star is real, and this is where you see the moment is where he scrunches up his face when Goldilocks. Oh, we need a burglar because we need to steal this map from Jack Horner, and you see his face scrunch up, and he's like, "No, not Jack Horner!" Like his movement, his expression, Antonio Banderas' voice here is everything lines up so perfectly to just emphasize the passion and the movement in that moment, and I truly love it. So there's other moments in the movie like that I think I can point out if I remember, but this is where Puss in Boots gets his cloak, and he's like, okay, I'm gonna go get this freaking wish because I want to wish for my 9 lives back. He doesn't tell anybody about the wish yet, and Perrito, and I thought, okay, this might be where Perrito, we finish, because I don't know, sometimes you get a character and you introduce and you throw them away, but no, Perrito follows him all the way to Jack Horner's castle. Was it a castle? And they find where the map is, and we see the introduction of Jack Horner. And this character is so funny. Like, you see this big towering dude, and he's so silly. Like, he doesn't like chatter, he doesn't like too much talking, he gets annoyed really easily, he's impatient, and he just moves. And he's talking to these two sisters. I forgot what they were. These were throwaway characters. And this is my, I can't emphasize as where, how, the sisters, who are you? How did you get this map? Where did you get this map? Why would you bring it to Jack? You can wish for anything. This is my only predicament and problem with the story is why? If you have the map, you could have just gone and taken it up I've seen nobody bring this problem. Nobody has mentioned this problem, and it really irritates me because it's a very simple. Where did this map come from? Why do the sisters have it if they did so much killing? Why didn't they keep it? If they're thieves, why didn't they just take it from him? This is the only one that irks me. It doesn't make no sense. I understand it needs to be introduced, but this was a very poor way to introduce it. Rant over. Okay, so we have Puss in Boots get to the map, open the box, and Kitty Softpaws comes out. And I never got introduced to this character, but apparently they were, I think, in the previous movie with Puss in Boots. So this is the only time, but don't need to see the movie. And this is where everybody starts falling in, and we have the Goldilocks and the family, the bear family, Jack Horner, and Puss in Boots. These are the main people of the story, minus Death. And then chase scene to get out. In this chase scene to get out, we hear the eerie whistle again, and this is where we see Death. When Puss in Boots gets big again, he gets cocky, he starts telling this is a gift from Puss in Boots, is when Death whistles his song again to remind him you are on your last life. And when he puts the golden coins on his eyes and he points, eerie, very eerie, scary. And that's when I thought, is this like, is that death? Is this death because he showed up out of nowhere? Nobody really is weirded out by a by a black cloak wearing wolf. I don't know if anybody else can see him, but that's a superstition before where if people died, they placed a gold coin on their tongue or on their eyes as payment to get into heaven, I think, or to pay the ferry to get to heaven. So that's when I'm thinking, okay, because I've read about that, I forgot on where. And this is possibly death. And that it started clicking for me from the first scene. I'm like, okay, that's possibly death. Beautiful, beautiful introduction. No words needed. You have the person kind of piece it together in their head. I love that we are shown, not told. Into the next portions is we start getting to the Lost Forest. We see the incorporation of the dog. They all go through the portal. Funny freak out scene. In the next scenes, they're going to the Lost Forest. We see the incorporation of the dog into the story. Finally, we're playing a little part. And again, everything feels seamless. We're kind of moving. We get a montage of them traveling. Everything is fluid, I feel, in the movie. And the stuff isn't just abruptly cut. At least from what I know, I'm a very, 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 very simple. I enjoy movies. I don't look too deep into things, but this movie really caught my attention. I absolutely loved this movie and the passion put into it. We see the addition of the dog where Puss in Boots gets an awful, horrible path to get to the star. We see Kitty Softpaws gets an awful, sin. You see the sins of the heart, or not? Is it sins of the heart? You just see the depths of fear in them. Like for Kitty Softpaws, there was a loneliness forest, something like that, and everybody has such a difficult path to go to. And then the dog Perrito puts his paw on it, and he gets such a nice little path of the posies, the river of relaxation, and something about forest of quick solutions. Everybody's like, why is his so easy? And he holds the map from then on, and he is a simple person. He doesn't need a wish. He has everything he really wished for from the moment he met Puss in Boots and they became friends. And I think that's a very, very nice, theme of Perrito is he's not greedy. He doesn't need it. He's very happy with the life he was given, and he has a positive outlook on everything. And it's such a good outlook on life. It's you take gratitude for what you have, the cards you're dealt, and you take the best of the situation and you make the best of it. The next scenes with Jack Horner, and he's getting Excalibur, and I'm thinking, wow, he's got Excalibur, and he doesn't fully take it out of the rock. He just brings the giant rock with him, and he hits Goldilocks and the bears down the mountain. From them fighting, we have Puss in Boots, Dog, and Gatito, Kitty Softpaws. They make it to the posies, and Puss in Boots and Kitty Softpaws are fighting for their lives against the what's it called, the flowers. And this goes to wow, I forgot my train of thought there. Perrito's goal is he wants to be a therapy dog, and he shows that you go through this forest with taking your time and relaxation, positive outlook. And he helps them, take a breath of fresh air, calm, breathe, and you go through the flowers. Versus how Jack does it, he gets to the flowers and he just starts losing men. I love how nonchalant Jack is. He's like, I don't care. Losing a few men. Starts pulling weapons. None of them are working, and he brings out a locust. Well, it's a grasshopper, but it looks like a locust. And I absolutely love this grasshopper is his conscience. And the dynamic between the grasshopper and Jack, with the grasshopper on his shoulder being so not judgmental, just trying to look at anything good, any positive thing out of Jack. There is just no redeeming him as a person, which we later find out. he pulls out a phoenix to finally burn down the posies. Where the grasshopper favorite line is, "Oh, I got my work really cut out for me here." I love that grasshopper. We finally see some growth here with Puss. So he asks for help, which he never really asked for help, but asks for help and shows vulnerability to Kitty Softpaws, where he wants to shave the beard, but he can't because he doesn't have his own sword. So he uses Kitty Softpaw. Well, no, he doesn't use. He asks for help to get it cut, and Kitty Softpaw uses a very small gatito blade, which she later gives to him to use as a weapon versus having no weapon, and that plays a very nice role later on into the movie of how he's changed. While Puss throws away the stick, his final throw of his stake weapon, Perrito goes to chase for it and gets caught by Jack Horner, which you see him pointing his crossbow at his face, and the little grasshopper's like, wait, Jack, what are you doing, bro? You're not gonna shoot the dog, right? Like, come on. And Jack's like, yes, in the face. Like his character is so nonchalant with hurting people. I love it. And beautiful music. The music, I forgot to mention, the music is so nicely choreographed here. Jack Horner's just shooting people with the unicorn horns. They're all exploding all over the place. Animation is fantastic again throughout the whole movie. And you hear the eerie whistle again of death. And Puss in Boots just immediately freaks out in what I want to call is this scene is he gets a panic attack. He starts running for his life, and Perrito chases after him to get to see what's wrong, because he senses something is wrong. He brings his hat with him, and everything brings and comes together to this scene. Is just the passion in this scene is so heartfelt. You have Goldilocks get the map. So Kitty Softpaw loses it. Goldilocks gets the map, changes the terrain by looking at the map. Everything starts getting dark. Puss in Boots is running for his life from this dark figure. And when Perrito finally finds him, you just see him palpitating. You can hear his heartbeat. You can hear he's freaking out. His rhythm of breathing is lost. Everything is adding up to this moment where Perrito just brings him back by resting his head on his like chest or stomach, and he brings Puss back out of his panic attack. And it really just, this movie did not have to go this hard with the passion and everything put together, but it did, and it had to. This scene just is so heartfelt. I think it's one of my favorite scenes shown in the movie, which then Puss opens up and he tells him, which I forgot to mention, the birthday wish rule. He tells him his wish. Nobody in the movie that said their wish out loud to somebody else got their wish granted. They actually had their wish all along. And he tells him his wish. He tells him what he's so afraid of, and he talks to him in a moment like he's a therapy dog. And Perrito is trying to help him through it, and you see Perrito's inclusion to the problem solving in the movie of him giving assistance to Puss in the movie. And I just think it's such a beautiful addition. I think it could be very overlooked or maybe not heartfelt like I did, but I think the addition of all this into this, the culmination into this moment, is just fantastic from the movie. Once Goldilocks has the map starts going haywire and shows and mentions that your wish might not actually be too far. And they bring the three bears and her into the cabin where they basically met. And when she went into the cabin and looked at the fairy tale book, I thought her wish was going to be to bring and make them all human. Which I thought, some people thought she wanted to turn herself into the bear, which would make sense too. I thought that she wanted to make them all into humans so she could have a normal family. But it kind of makes more sense that she wants to Uh, I guess I'll spoil it, right? It doesn't matter in the sequence that she wants to turn everybody. No, she wants to have her own family, which makes sense because she doesn't want to force them to be human. She doesn't want to force herself to be a bear, so that's there just right. But that's not entirely. Yeah, well, later on we see more to that part of the story. And the next part is Puss in Boots with his fear. He mentions what happened in Santa Coloma to Kitty Softpaws and mentions what his fear was. His first time ever actually feeling fear, which was that moment in the church. And I feel you can kind of sense that she, just to make Puss feel better, lift the guilt off his shoulders, she mentions, "Oh, I didn't even show up either," which helps him, I guess, get over that sense. And we can continue moving forward with the story. Puss, Kitty, and Perrito finally get the map back, but Perrito gets kidnapped again. He gets trapped with Goldilocks, and when Puss opens up the map to to get separated from Goldilocks' team, he gets trapped in the cave of lost souls. I think it was right. Cave of Lost Souls. Kitty Softpaws goes to save Perrito, and you see that Goldilocks is again reassured that you have your family. You were blessed. You won the orphan lottery. You have such a caring, nice family with you. And in that moment, Perrito gets saved. So they lose Perrito, but she gets reassurance that this is where she belongs to be. Belongs to be? This is where she belongs. In the Cave of Lost Souls, Puss in Boots confronts his past lives that he starts talking to all of them, and they're doing a song and dance like he's like, "Oh, I gotta go, guys, I gotta go." But first he had a song with all his past lives, which was hilarious. But then he gets to the realization that every one of his lives was a jerk, which is conflicting. I'm calling myself from the past a jerk, but that's the realization and the truth that this is his life right now is different. He's not who he once was. And we go into contact where this time the wolf appears into frame, no whistling, and he gets the revelation that that person that has been chasing him is Death. And he freaks out again. He I don't think he gets that panic attack, but he freaks out, runs for his life. And the wolf is just like his demeanor, the wolf's way of talking, the passion that was written or shown on the wolf too is honestly great. And the first time, I forgot to mention, the first time we see the wolf mention in the part where I really enjoy his expression is when he grabs his saber, I don't know, his sickle, that's what it is, it's a sickle, and he just mentions, "I just love the smell of fear." And the way he expresses and shows and the way he pronounces love it just drives home how much I love the animation. This style of animation and passion shown and sewn into the movie. And so Puss starts darting off, runs away, runs directly to the star. So Kitty Softpaws and Perrito are calling out to him, but he just keeps running. He's honestly so scared for his life. This next scene with Mama Bear didn't have to go so hard. So this is the scene where Goldilocks expresses and tells them that her wish is to get a family, which kind of, you see all their hearts kind of break because they may be a little, no, nobody's really mean to her. Actually, Pops is super endearing. Mama Bear is super endearing, super understanding, passionate, and the only one that really gives her a hard time, like a brother, is Baby Bear. And he's really bummed out that she wants to wish for a real family. And this is where Mama Bear, this scene did not have to hit so hard. But even though Mama Bear sees what she wants and she says, "If this is something that will make you happy, then we will help you go get it." And it just, that scene did not have to hit this hard on the heart. And they all go ahead and put their lives on the line to give Goldie her wish, which just shows how much they care for Goldilocks. Once Puss reaches the star, actually, everybody starts reaching the star. Well, first, Kitty Softpaw reaches the star and expresses her wish. She wanted to wish for somebody she could trust. Somebody that, well, she gets her wish later, right? Her wish becomes true later without expressing it to the star. Or maybe everybody gets their wish once they, except Puss, right? Gets their wish, or at least realizes they had their wish all along. The fight ensues. Everybody's fighting for the map. Goldilocks has the wish in front of her, and she gives up the wish to go save Baby Bear. Jack Horner gets defeated, goes into the bag. I thought he was done for, right? Goldilocks, I forgot what happened to that one. So they get pushed aside, and Puss is gonna wish. Well, Puss ends up with the map. Perrito retrieves the map, gives it to Puss, and Perrito expresses again he expresses his thoughts about it to Puss in Boots. Perrito's last words to Puss in Boots are that maybe one life is all you need. You know, Perrito has one life. Everybody generally has one life except cats in this universe. Now here comes one of the best, from just recency bias, this is one of the best fight scenes at the moment. Is Puss in Boots gets confronted again by death, literal death, right? Nobody believed him when he said, death is chasing me. And everybody sees death. And they're asking, what's that noise? What's that sound? And death encircles fire around Puss in Boots for their final duel. He throws him his sword. He's held his sword this whole time. Throws him the sword at the final moment. And you have Puss in Boots recalling everything again, but of this current life. He didn't recall everything before. And his life with every one of his friends has flashed before his eyes. And you see the determination to defend his life in this moment. And, you just see Wolf get excited, pulls out his weapon, and the initial animation, the running animation, the fighting animation is fantastic. The shadow, the way, Wolf chases him down with the sickles is amazing. And you see that Puss in Boots, with being careful, actually lands some hits on Wolf. And the way he combines his sickles to be a staff sickle, and just starts surprising Puss in Boots, knocks his weapon out. But you have the gatito blade, and he goes to block the attack of the sickle with the 8 lives removed from it. He blocks it with the gatito blade that was gifted to him. And he picks up his other sword and he brings out a new fighting style with his small blade and large blade against Wolf. And he cuts out the sickle from underneath. And the power, the freaking flex that Puss in Boots does when he kicks over the sickle and he says, "Pick it up." Antonio, please. His voice acting is so good. And the final moment where the Wolf looks at him again, he's looking, and he breaks, and he just gets so mad. He's like, "Damn it! Why did I play with my food?" And I love that he breaks into Spanish. ¿Por qué? I love it. I love that moment when he just breaks and he says, "Why did I have to play with my food?" So from that moment, he notices that Puss has grown. He stopped being a cocky, greedy cat that didn't appreciate any of their lives to finally appreciating their last life given to them. Well, their last life. And he just says, "Enjoy your life, but I will be back." And Puss in Boots understands. "I'll be waiting for you," which, eventually would be, I guess, of old age or whatever would happen to him. And I thought the movie was over. We were done. Oh, it's good. But then, you gotta finish the story. You gotta delete the star, I guess. So Jack Horner comes breaking out, and I don't know what he ate. I think he ate, what's it called? It reminded me of, not Cinderella. I forgot the movie. Wonderland? I don't remember. He eats the thing, and he gets huge. Everybody teams up, works against them, Attack on Titan style, defeats them. breaks them into the star, and they break the map, in which the grasshopper burns the map with the phoenix, which beautiful, beautiful, beautiful touch, and the star explodes and goes into the sky. Happy ending. And this gets me actually excited. If they see the success that this movie had, maybe they touch up and go with this sort of animation style, time, passion into whatever movie they're going to do next, which looks like they're going to bring Shrek back far, far away. I don't know what it's going to be. I think Shrek 5? Shrek 4 or 5. I don't remember which one I watched. But honestly, this movie was fantastic. I loved it. I've already watched it twice. I watched it twice. I think it's a very good movie to rewatch again. You can really pick parts that you might have missed before. You can really put an emphasis on looking for the animation style. Pause it in a certain frame. You can see the time and passion and love that was put into this project. And the animators really brought to life the voice actors in this movie. And there's even some stuff that I definitely missed. There's people that do a better job at reviewing these, but I really, 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 really wanted to bring my view into this movie. I really wanted to just express how much this movie has been fantastic and made me enjoy watching a movie in such a long, long time, that I recommend everybody just go watch it for just once. Just enjoy the movie, and that's it for me, guys. I really enjoyed this movie. I hope you enjoy the review, and see you next time.